the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
We got ourselves a good old blowout at the Granddaddy. Ohio State 17, Oregon zip, 3rd and 8 for the Ducks. Coming up on 12 minutes to play in the third quarter. They keep running the ball.
Bizarre play calling. Yeah. Down 17-0. Let's establish the run.
Yeah, you going to catch them off guard?
Yeah, 3rd and long again.
Quick pass. Yep. At some point, so it's short here. It's going to be about 4th and 2, 4th and 3 from around midfield. At some point, you're going to start going for this stuff.
Well, he's got to go for this.
Nope.
Yeah, he's going. You are not
they are,
punty.
okay.
You are not punty from midfield. If they don't get this, oh boy, school's out.
Oh, it's 24-0 if they don't get this.
They can't stop them.
Yeah. They've had no answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll keep you updated on the Rose Bowl. Been ugly so far, obviously. Golf is back this week. I could not be more excited.
Hey,
I love betting on this sport.
Yeah, baby.
It's also, give it a couple of minutes this weekend on TV. I know there's a lot going on, but the course is immaculate on Maui. And our buddy Indy Jeff Sealey joins the program now. He's on X at Cutmaker Jeff, the Cutmaker podcast as well. Happy New Year, pal. How are you?
Happy New Year, guys. While we're sweating some football here, yeah, we got to prepare. And as you said, Mitch, if you like entertaining golf, I mean, this weekend, this is going to be a birdie fest. So we're going to see a lot of birdies, a lot of low scores. I think it'll be a fun weekend and mix it with some football.
All right.
Tell me about the course, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so again, we're at Kapalua, the Plantation course. It's a par 73, but it is really long, 7,600 yards. And guys, in general, this is the easiest course on tour. So super wide fairways, easy to find the fairway. The only thing that can be a little challenging here is putting. The greens are huge, and so really it's going to be who makes the most kind of long-range putts, and then who kind of has the best wedge game from there. So we've seen a few years ago, you guys might recall, Cam Smith had never played here before, and he came out and shot like 32 under, which was the tournament record. But think about that. That's what we could be looking at is a 30 to 35 under. Would not surprise me at all this week. So if you want to see fireworks, this is the tournament.
Yeah, it can get a little ridiculous, to be honest. Right?
For
okay.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
But it was a great tournament last year. Came down to the wire, and plenty of guys were in the mix to win that thing. So then if putting is the key here, you think it's going to be a birdie fest, like who sticks out? Which guys do you want to have a piece of?
Well, I mean, obviously we'll start at the top of the board, right? And so Xander, with no Scotty, we know Scotty withdrew here. And so with no Scotty, really Xander really jumps out. He and Morikawa jump out the top of the board. So in Xander's case, he really excels at these no-cut events. We know he can make tons of birdies. We know he can go as low as anyone. Coming off the best year of his career, I still think if you can find, plus 550 or so on Xander, I still think there's a little bit of value there because he would win this tournament. If it was played 100 times, he'd win it 20 times, absolutely. So I don't even mind playing Xander. I think he's absolutely going to be in the mix. Then Morikawa, he's 11-1. He's finished top 5 or better in this event than all the last 3 years. He's 2-1 to finish top 5 now. Again, I like that. With Morikawa, it's really kind of weird, though, guys. Last year, he finished 5th and lost 2.5 strokes putting. The year before that, he finished 2nd because he gained 5 strokes putting here. And in 2022, he finished 5th and was average putting. So you have no idea what you're going to get out of Morikawa with the putter, but we know tee to green, he's really, really, really strong here. Even if he's a little below average with the putter this week, I think he can find his way in the top 5. So Morikawa top 5, something I like, and I am going to play. I did play Xander to win. So those are two guys at the top of the board I'm interested in there.
All right, and you said Morikawa around 2-1, or maybe even a little bit better to finish top 5 is a bet that you really, really like?
Yeah, I do like that. I do.
Okay, let's move down the board a little bit more now. Give us a guy here a little bit down in the 30-1 range who you're looking at.
Yeah, guys, I bet Ben on DraftKings at 45-1 earlier this week. He's already way down to 30. My favorite bet on him of the whole week is Ben on top 20. I bet it even money. You can still find it minus 120. For years, we've known Ben on as a guy who can't putt, but he's actually been the best putter in Hawaii over the last 2 years. So for whatever reason, he putts very, very well here. As I mentioned, the fairways are a mile wide. He's 13th in birdies and 6th in eagles from the fairway. We know he's going to be in the fairway over his last 12 rounds in Hawaii. He's hitting the ball as long as anyone on tour now. And again, he's finished 12th, 4th and 2nd in his last 3 events in Hawaii. So to say he's comfortable here is an understatement. The last time he teed it up, he beat Tom Kim in a playoff in the Korean Championship on the DP World Tour just a few months ago. Tons to like about Ben On this week. I've played him ladder bets, top 20, top 10, top 5 to win. But I think my favorite play on the week is Ben On top 20.
Jeff Sherman at the Westgate likes Davis Thompson. And I know you talked to him. What do you think of that at 60-1?
No, I like Davis Thompson. He's in really good form. There's a lot to like, but there's a guy who's similar, not quite as high as Davis Thompson, but a guy who I think is actually even a little bit hotter than Max Greiserman this week that I'm going to play. Fantastic putter and a top 20 driver of the golf ball. So since late October, in the swing season, Greiserman has 3 swing season top 10 finishes to go with back-to-back second-place finishes at the Wyndham, and we all know the 3M is a freaking birdie fest. Mm-hmm. He took second there. So we got a guy who we know can bomb it, we know can putt. He gained just over a stroke off the tee in those events and 6 strokes putting in those events. So, again, here's a guy who's got a rare combination of really strong driver, really good putter, like another guy who I like ladder bets this week, top 20, top 10, and so on. I think the trajectory for this guy is just straight up. I'm really bullish on this guy all season long.
That's Max Greiserman. Okay, by the way, updated the Rose Bowl. Long touchdown for the Buckeyes, 23-0. Jeremiah Smith again, who now has surpassed 150 yards receiving with 10:28 to go in the second quarter. God. And to get 150 plus today, he was 5-1. I dropped the ball on that one. I saw the comment, the headline is, I dare Oregon to play man-to-man. I forgot about it. And that was smart by me.
What a way to go out. Undefeated 1 seed. Here we go. Rose
all this
Bowl,
time off.
Game's over. 10 minutes. Oh, God.
Yeah, absolute bloodbath.
Oh.
Okay. The bomb of the week.
Yeah.
We haven't talked to you in a while, but if you gave me like 3 guesses, I might be able to come up with this guy, Jeff. Who is it?
Well, guys, listen. I mean, last time he was here, he was 12th. He was 21st the year before that. If you need a guy just to rip it and make birdies, Sepp Straka is a guy, right? He's a top 10 putter. I mentioned you got to make 10 to 15-foot putts. He's a top 10 putter from that range, believe it or not. He's top 10 in birdies made from the fairway. He's going to be in the fairway. So another guy that, again, you throw some piece of money on him to 75-1, but another guy I like a lot, again, is a top 20 play. You could find him at plus money there. So take a look at Sepp Straka. We're also a really good play in DFS this week. I don't think he'll be very highly owned. And if you're playing DraftKings DFS, I think he's a terrific guy to look at.
What do you make of Bhatia this week? Anything on him at all?
I haven't played him. I like Bhatia, but in general, I think he's the guys that I'm kind of flip-flopping around in DFS lineups for Bhatia and Thigala, and I actually like Thigala a little bit better than Bhatia, guys who are fairly in the same range. Yeah,
Thigala is the guy that I'm looking at as well. I'll give you one here. You haven't mentioned him yet. He closed the season strong last year. And now the price point here with this field to me is not high enough. But what do you think of Maverick McNeely's chances this weekend?
I know some people who really, really like him. And you're right in regard to close the season strong. And he is traditionally a great putter. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot to like about him. I'm more in a field this strong. Yep. I don't know that I want to play him, as an outright. But I mean, certainly, again, 45-1 is, it's okay. I like Davis Thompson a little better right now. He's down to 40 as I'm looking at this. I like Greiserman a little better just because of what I've seen recently. But he's a guy that I think that he can end up. I honestly think he could have a career year, right? If he continues where he was, I just want to see it a little more to begin the season. But I could definitely come around to McNeely as the season goes on. I think there are certainly guys in that range. I like him better than Day. I like him way better than Harmon. But here's another guy. Like, when was the last time you saw Max Homa 55-1?
Great point.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, yes. That's just a question of, like, can he get it back together? Because you might not ever find this price this low again on Max Homa. And so he's a guy, I think, that if you want to take a flyer on a guy who's just pure talent, Max Homa's as good as anybody.
Yeah. You know what? I might be looking for best prices I can find on Homa and McNeely. again, with McNeely to win this thing against this field, maybe not at that number, but like a top 10, maybe a top 20. Okay, now we're talking at a nice plus price. Follow Jeff on X. We love having him on, breaking down golf every single week. He's at Cupmaker. Jeff, Happy New Year, pal. Thanks for the time today. We appreciate that.
Thanks, fellas. Talk soon.
Yeah, be good.
You're the man.
There you go. He joined us on the Progressive Guest line.
Buckeyes 21.5 in play. Are you serious?
You want to take a little Oregon?
No, I don't. I also forgot I had Texas on a teaser. How about that? It won by 8. So I got. Are you serious?
What did you tease him down to?
Put that down. 5, 6.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah, when it was early in the week.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, here's the thing.
This is ridiculous.
Look at him. He's
wide open.
He's wide open by 10 yards.
I mean, it goes back to what you were saying earlier, though. You're going to track meet here. What's the run on first down, run on second down? Put Gabriel in third and long. I mean, you're down. They were doing this when they were down 2 scores.
Right. I called that out immediately.
Because they're going to bring.
Guys,
they're going to unleash hell. I know you're going against the number 1 scoring defense. They're going to bring the heat.
You need. I mean, if you can't, you got to be within like 10 at halftime.
Oh my gosh. It's 24 rip.
What has changed?
How many points are they going to score?
Since they played in Autzen, right? That was 32-31. Seriously, like, does the time off mean this much?
It does, yeah. Look at it. Look how bad it's been.
Here you go. Jeremiah Smith on Monday. So I'm just letting everybody know right now that if you play man Wednesday, we're taking a shot. Called him out. Dared him to do it. Where was I at? I saw the headline. I made a note of it.
Yeah.
Come on, Mitch.
Or hate
It's
Ashbury.
20. Good resolution, so a good start to the year. All right. We'll dive into, updated live numbers on this game as it continues. They're running the ball again. I give up.
What are you doing?
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Happy New Year. Not going so well for the Oregon Ducks. They trail 24-0. They just punted.
Hey, guys, big gulps, huh? See you later.
In play number, Buckeyes, 23.5, total 58.5. Why? Can somebody please send an SOS to Dan Lanning that says you might want to throw the football?
Early on, too.
Yeah, right. You're not catching them off guard. It's pretty obvious at this point. You're not going to break one here for 60 yards.
Boy, oh, boy.
Well,
What a blessing that the Buckeyes lost to Michigan. What a blessing to light a fire in their ass. Right? And
evidently.
I mean, this is 21-0 before you crack your second beer against Tennessee. Men against boys. Get out of here. SEC nonsense. Here we go. Ducks, no problem. Bam. I mean, how bad is this going to get? They're not stopping them. And then Day likes to run it up. So then and your worst nightmare's coming true here.
Oh, my Lord.
What the hell are they going to be laying against Texas, who had no business beating Arizona State?
They were plus 380 to win the national title before today's action, the highest I could find on them. They are plus 140 right now to win the whole thing. Plus 140. Texas plus 270, Penn State 450, Georgia 750, Notre Dame 750. Oregon's are 32-1. Think Oregon's going to come back?
No.
Win the game?
No.
32-1 out there. They're plus 850 to win the game right now. You need to put a couple of zeros on that one. And, oh, by the way, it looks like, is it James, the running back, had to leave the game. He walked out.
Rains, it pours.
There you go. Under the tunnel, back to the locker room.
At least we got the sunset, end of the third quarter. What about, what do you think about Penn State?
Well, I think their path has been awesome.
Sure, but do you like them against whatever happens tomorrow afternoon? The winner?
I can't make up my mind. And here's
It's
why.
hard. I kind of agree with Brad Powers that I've not been impressed at all with Penn.
Oh, my.
What is going on?
Okay, here comes, what is it, 75-yard run for Ohio State?
He's gone, untouched. It's 31-0. I'm going home.
Wow, untouched. Holy smokes, Oregon Ducks. The number 1 team in the country. By the way, again, they had their choice. They elected to play in the Rose Bowl. They had their choice of where they wanted to play as the number 1 seed. They said, we'll take the Rose Bowl. I think that was before they obviously didn't know who the teams were going to be, but they did that to be closer to home.
Oh boy, they were so much better off losing in the Big Ten title game. It's not even close.
Yeah. Think about that for a second.
They ended their season by beating Penn State.
Yep.
They were much better because the bye's a killer, the time off's a killer, and you're taking on a freight train here.
I'll tell you what, the committee, they have a lot of retooling to do.
Yeah.
We knew that going in. You can't have teams like Boise and Arizona State get the bye. That's a problem.
Yeah.
They'll fix that, I think. And also, you can't have a team like Penn State get the easiest path in the playoff and give the number one team in the country this path. Look at this. Look at this run.
He's not even touched.
From their own 35-yard line. The hole is 9 feet wide.
They're 27.5 in play. They're 27.5 in play.
Let's go. Let's see some more runs, Oregon. Come on. 1st and 10. Run it for -2 yards.
66.5 the total. So I respect the team. You know, okay, so what? Franklin wins a couple games here. But the talent that they have, I'm not an Aller guy, but Warren's a beast. Love the running backs. Abdul the Butcher, even though he was out, but got hurt, but the great defensive line, what they did. But you knew they were going to sell out to stop the run. But that's how many breaks can you get? How many turnovers, right? And how can both matchups, the quarterbacks lose their minds? Boise moved the ball on them, and SMU was moving the ball on them up and down the field. But again, just a bad beat. Boy, that's a 3-point game, middle of the third quarter. I end up with 4 turnovers, 13 penalties, 2 missed field goals.
Here's the problem. I don't know if Notre Dame or Georgia is very good.
You're still really? You're not there with Notre Dame? Wow.
I think they're...
I would take Notre Dame against Penn State. I would take Penn State against Georgia. But what Stockton's able to do and look like is the big key.
Sure. But also, as we had Adam Burke on the program a little earlier, his point's valid. Again, truly, like how many good teams has Notre Dame played this year?
Yeah, I don't agree with Adam Burke.
Oh, name the teams then.
Louisville, Texas A&M.
Paul, come on.
What do you mean, come on?
Mitch,
they're a good team.
You just laughed at the ACC for 2 days on the air. Knock it off.
Every loss was by 1 score. To beat Louisville, they were, ranked 26?
You were mocking the ACC
was...
and saying, I got to bet Washington, Louisville, and the ACC stink.
Yeah, they played their backup quarterback.
Knock it off.
No, don't tell me to knock it off.
I'm telling you.
You got to give me Louisville's a good team. Don't tell me Louisville's not a good win.
Louisville's an average win.
A&M, Louisville. Who did Georgia beat then that's so great? Georgia Tech. Okay, fine. I'll move on. A&M, Louisville, Georgia. They pounded Georgia Tech 31-13 on the road. How does that look? And all-time years out of Navy and Army.
I don't care.
Navy 51-14.
Means nothing.
And, okay, I want to live in your world then. How about USC?
Well, you're being delusional.
No, I'm not. Those are good
Army,
wins.
Navy are not good wins.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
To blow them out, they are.
Okay.
To blow them out.
That's fine. You can think so. And then when Georgia's up like Ohio State like this right now tomorrow, then good luck.
You're not concerned about what the SECs look like?
Well, how can I not be?
Okay.
Of course I am.
Okay.
I think it's valid to sit there and think that Notre Dame really... maybe the best team they played was USC. And that was a tough game for them.
Yeah, USC moved it on them. But I don't think Georgia has the quarterback play and the ability to do that.
No, they don't.
So, right. It's a great game. I'm on under. But I think Irish favored for a reason here. And they should be. And
I played 80-1, no touchdown.
But I just can't get away from the fact that you have Love and Leonard with 30 combined rushing yards. And then here comes Haynes King rolling into town. And a average at best ACC team rolling up and down the field on you.
How about that? How about that game was maybe a fluke?
Well,
on the ground?
But they needed
on the ground.
Oh, maybe. But they needed the game. Certainly,
another punt.
Did they go 3 and out?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God!
They can't. So what? They can't complete a pass? All of a sudden?
What is this?
Are they going to pull Dylan Gabriel from this game and just wave the white flag?
What do we compare this to?
They ran the ball on first down.
Again?
Guess what? 2-yard loss. Dan Lanning is waving the white flag. There's 7.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. This is pathetic. I got to tell you, the game's over. Major power rating down on Dan Lanning and the entire staff here for Oregon. Let's go back and look at the box score here quickly.
It's 30.5 in play. They are 30.5 in play. What are we doing?
Okay, it was 14-0 Ohio State, 7:31 to go in the first quarter. Yeah. Rush, don't reset on me. Rush pass, pass, rush, incomplete, rush, pass, punt. Ohio State scored to make it 17-0. Rush, rush, pass, rush, rush, pass, incomplete. It's 24-0. First play after it's 24-0, rush, 1 yard loss. 66-yard touchdown, 31-0. First play, rush, 2 yard loss. This guy is costing himself here dearly.
First down, 13-yard rush, Ohio State, driving. Here's where I'm at. What's a good win then? I mean, if I'm beating 10, 11 win teams, and it's like, okay, no big deal. I mean, but I think they have a pretty good body of work. And also got the wake-up call from losing to Northern Illinois. So I love how the Irish are playing. Maybe
they're playing good
injury
ball.
to Mills is too much, but I think they're going to have a lot of success on the ground.
I would say that they've been in better form than Georgia overall. I mean, since that loss to Northern Illinois, they've been killing teams. Maybe, by the way, maybe you can point to this. Like, how many teams had a lot of good wins anyway this season? Probably not a ton of teams. Because overall, the quality at the top is just not nearly as good as it was in previous years. So
there's a ton of wins against teams with winning records. But ready to take your tailgate to the next level? Try Sewell's Barbecue, born from a backyard cookout in a mason jar of unforgettable flavor. Sewell's has become a Southern favorite, delighting taste buds from Georgia to the Carolinas. Smoky ribs, mouth-watering wings are the perfect backyard burger. Sewell's turns every bite into a flavor-packed experience. Order now, Sewell'sBarbecueSauce.com. Sewell'sBarbecueSauce.com. Flavor this good, just a click away. Southern hospitality, never tasted so good. Love it. It's dynamite. It's a real deal. We love you, Sewell's. Sewell's Barbecue.
Great comparison by our producer, Luke. It was TCU, Georgia. TCU had 7 in that game, 65-7.
No, what? No,
Final.
that's not. I don't like that comparison.
38-7 at halftime.
That was a big point spread.
Well, no, but I'm saying the result here. That was a national title game.
Yeah.
This one, we thought the winner here, this may be the two best teams playing overall in college football. It's the 1 seed, and they're getting absolutely embarrassed right now on national TV.
Baylor, Gonzaga?
For college basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weren't they up 20 right away?
Oh, it was over with before it started, yeah. And
Gonzaga was
undefeated?
Yeah. Son of a gun. Damn. Derek Stevens popped in during the break. He made a good point. We're like, we got nothing now tonight. With the Sugar Bowl being postponed.
That's right.
It was like the Sacramento Kings play at 7 o'clock. That's it.
It's a weird schedule now tonight.
It's every New Year's night. It was always your big, right?
I will credit the NBA. They do not have a light card until January 24th. It's 3 games that night. Every single day from now until then, it's like way bigger than that. Matt Youmans on the program next. We'll get his best bets coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
The Granddaddies had better days. Ohio State all over Oregon. 34-0 first half. Yikes. VSiN host Matt Youmans joins the program now. You know, here's the thing. Our show is going to end in a half an hour. Is going to go home. Why would I watch a second half? Matt Youmans on the program now. Yeah. What are you thinking here, Matt? I bet Ohio State money line for various reasons, but who saw this coming?
And I can't believe. I mean, Oregon comes out today looking like this year's Purdue team. Seriously, this is the number 1 seeded team in the bracket, down 34-0. So the reason to watch in the second half, I guess, would be if you live bet it. I just took. For the hell of it, I took Oregon plus 30.5, something I never thought I'd be saying today. I just took 30.5 points with Oregon. And I think the Ducks, there's got to be some sort of momentum shift at some point in the second half where Dylan Gabriel gets some, at least makes the score somewhat respectable, and they put a couple drives together. First of all, I bet Oregon plus 3 and over the total of 55. I'm hoping Oregon can put some points on the board to help this score get over 55 today. And it's not happening so far. It's just ridiculous. I think it was 170 yards to 11 right out of the gate. And, you know, I did think, and I said I thought the 3.5-week layoff could be detrimental to the Ducks. And now you got to wonder, about Georgia with the big layoff. And because 3.5 weeks is too long, especially when you're playing a team that gained a lot of confidence in a win 10 days prior. And this is, it sounded weird to say it at the time, and I had to think it through. But I think the loss to Michigan might have been the best thing to happen to Ohio State in a weird way, because they got their play calling right. Chip Kelly and Ryan Day pulled their heads out of it, and they got their play calling right. They gained a lot of confidence. They got their swagger back in that win against Tennessee. And this is a totally different Ohio State team than you saw on that last Saturday in November against Michigan.
Well, it's not just Oregon. I mean, they got it happen to Boise, and it happened to Arizona State as well.
Yeah.
How these teams have played off the bye. So this is, but and then the other thing is, Lanning continues to run the ball on first and second down every single drive, and they get in third along and can't pick one up. So we're going to an afternoon game now tomorrow. What do you think of Notre Dame, Georgia? Notre Dame now favored.
Yeah, and the betting market likes Notre Dame, and you can't argue with this angle. You're going to bet against the team that's had the long layoff, and that's Georgia. I like Notre Dame anyway. I bet the Irish at 12-1 and 10-1 to win the college football playoff, and they've got a dynamic rushing attack. When Riley Leonard has it going, and he's playing like a poor man's Josh Allen, he can look pretty good. And then you got Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, who are big-time playmakers, explosive running backs. We saw the 98-yard run by Love against Indiana. Now, the Notre Dame offense is going to have to play at a higher level than it did against the Hoosiers. Aside from that long run by Love, there were not many explosive plays from the Irish in that game. I heard Chris Bear-Fleek talking about an insider who said, hey, Gunnar Stockton, the Georgia quarterback, is better than people think, and that don't underestimate him. So I'm not going to underestimate him here. And, he's had 3 weeks to take reps with the first-team offense. But, man, this is going to be a lot of pressure on him in his first career start. I do lean Notre Dame in this game, but my bet is basically on the Irish to win the playoff at 12-1 or 10-1. I'm not going to bet this pregame. I'm probably going to live bet it. As we've seen in a lot of these games, live betting is a better way to go a lot of times anyway. And I did play under the total of 45. I think it's going to be a low-scoring type of grinder where both teams are going to run the ball a lot more than throw it. Okay,
NFL now, if we have some inflated spreads here. How about the Chiefs with Carson Wentz catching 11 points against Denver?
Yeah, 11 seems like a bit of a high number. I know the market's come down to 10.5 in a lot of spots today, but Andy Reid has a history of sitting his starters out in the last week of the season. He's actually won, I think, I would say it's happened 5 times, and I think he's won 3 of the 5 games and covered 4 of the 5. And, hey, Carson Wentz in there is going to play with point to prove. He's not going to lay down. And it's just a high number for Denver Broncos team that's not putting up, let's say, doesn't have an explosive offense. It's a high number for the Broncos to cover. And you can only sit so many games. I heard Nick Saban, Bill Belichick mentioning things like this recently. I think people overrate the resting starters angle sometimes in Week 18 because it's not a college football team where you have 100 guys dressed. You can only really rest about 8 to 10 starters, and the Chiefs are going to rest some key guys, but I don't think they're going to lay down. I don't really buy into the theory that the Chiefs want to make sure they lay down and keep the Bengals out of the playoffs. I don't think they're afraid of the Bengals getting into the playoffs. I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to win the game. I took 11 because I do like to take these numbers in Week 18 when it feels like there's an overreaction to starters resting. Okay, so can you explain the number then in the Seattle Rams game? Why has it been beefed up to where it's at right now with the Seahawks as the favorite? So it doesn't really make sense to me. I think the Rams are going to have one offensive line starter out, Sean McVay said, and obviously Matthew Stafford's going to be out. I don't know if Puka Nacua is playing. Have you guys heard his status? Because I don't think Sean McVay has clarified exactly who's setting out. I do love the Stafford-Puka Nacua connection. I'm not sure if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be on the same page with the receivers. But, hey, Jimmy G's auditioning for a job too. And he's one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league still. So I just don't understand this number going from 3 to 6.5 when there appears to be no incentive on the side of the Seahawks. They're eliminated from the playoffs. Is Geno Smith even going to play all 4 quarters? I don't know. So what is the motivation for the Seahawks? And I think this number is an overreaction at 6.5. You asked me to explain it. I really can't. I don't know why this number is this high.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Rams.
The whole thing's bizarre. Why, like we talked about on the pregame show Monday, Why does McVay not want to win this game? Because if they lose and Tampa wins, you got to beat the Minnesota-Detroit loser. And then if you win, you probably got to play Minnesota-Detroit winner. I don't get it.
Yeah, we talked, and this whole thing's kind of a mystery to me, Paul. And we talked about it in the pregame show. You want to lock, if you're the Rams McVay, you want to lock up the 3 seed. And if you lose this game, you're going to drop to 4, and you're going to play that NFC North combination of Lions and Vikings, and that's what you don't want. So I really don't understand why the Rams are sitting guys out and willing to lose this game. So none of it really makes sense. But I'm going to play the Rams and take the points. I think this number is really inflated. All
right, probably the biggest game in regular season NFL history, Sunday night. Vikings, Lions. The team's going to get a wild card in a 5 seed with 14 wins. Nuts. What do you think here with Minnesota and Detroit?
There's so much attrition and so many injuries on the Detroit defense. I just don't know how long this D can keep it together. And I did see some good news for the Lions that Alex Anzalone, the linebacker's got a shot to come back and play. And I think he might be their best run stopper. So that would be a positive if he can get back on the field. But you're talking about the Detroit defense is missing at least 8 significant players. And, Paul, I saw you tweeting about it during the Monday night game, how the Detroit defense couldn't get a stop, and this is continue. And it was the first 5 drives by the 49ers with 4 touchdowns, and it probably would have been 5 touchdowns, but the last drive before half, they ran out of time and had to attempt a field goal that was, I believe, was missed. So it could have easily been 5 drives and 5 touchdowns for the 49ers.
Yep.
So when you look ahead to this game, I think the Lions, I'm not saying Dan Campbell did the wrong thing by trying to win that game. That's just his attitude. He's a different animal. He's going to approach it that way.
Yeah.
But the Lions put a lot into that game on Monday night. And, by the way, they won the first meeting, obviously, against the Vikings. I love the underdog in conference revenge situations like this. I think the value here is with the Vikings +3, and that's what I'm playing.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be on that side as well, Matt. So, anyway, you're coming up usually on VSiN PrimeTime, which follows us for 4 hours. Von Tobel, Tim Murray as well, but Tim Murray was in today. You can follow Matt on X. He's at Matt Youmans 24/7. Happy New Year, pal. Thanks for the time. Best of luck this week.
See you in a few minutes. Thank you.
There you go.
You
he joined us on the Progressive Guest Line. Ducks driving, 3rd down, 9 seconds to go, second quarter. 34-0 Buckeyes, and where are they at? Inside the 15, I believe?
Yes.
In this spot?
Good tweet from Pat Ford. He was at the game. This has entered the Stanford, Iowa zone. McCaffrey's evisceration of the Hawkeyes 9 years ago. It was 35-0 at halftime, 38-0 early in the third quarter. I think McCaffrey had a long touchdown, second play of the game.
Yeah.
I
remember his day. I don't remember that score getting out of control like that. So Oregon completes the pass down to the 5-yard line. They'll take a timeout here. Are they going to kick the field goal?
You got to take the points, Mitch.
You got to go for the touchdown.
You got to take the points, Mitch.
That was actually said last night on the broadcast before the Boise kicker came out for his first attempt.
Who said that? You got to take that. The guy said you got to take the points.
I don't remember who was on the game.
4th and 2, 45-yarder.
Take the points.
12-point dog.
Yep.
Barry Sanders in the backfield.
And he comes out and he misses it by 40 yards to the left.
Yes.
Take the points.
You got to take the points.
Because it's, as always, it's automatic.
That's the best point. That's the best part. They always leave that out. Like the extra point, no problem in the NFL. Oh, the 40-yard, you got to take the points.
Sure, of course. It's automatic. Yeah, they're not going to miss. Come on.
Yeah, ask Cade York.
Guys never miss chip shots. They never miss 45-yarders. They never miss extra points. It's easy. Put them out there. Put the points on the board. All right, what do the Ducks do here? With 3 seconds to go before halftime, trailing 34-0.
He's going.
In-pocket plays coming up next.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're on.
All right. No good last night, 0-2. The Memphis Suns game died in the fourth quarter. It was 235.5. 236.5 the total. It fell 229. As it slowed down in the second half, and then Wemby only made 1 3. but went over his points prop, though, but was 1 of 6 from 3. So that was no good. Always fire up the prop analyzer at VSiN.com. This went 2-0 the other night, coming right back with it. DeJounte Murray, Pelicans, under 18 points. He's on a 14-2 under run with his points, going under 18 tonight. And Paul George, the late game, which is the only thing going on now in sports, with the Sugar Bowl getting moved. Paul George under made threes, 2.5, under minus 130. He is 17-3 to the under. He didn't even make one in the last game. So always check that out, NFL, NBA, with the VSiN Prop Analyzer, VSiN.com.
That's very good. You notice Caldwell Pope?
What's he on?
26-7, under 10.5 points on the year.
Really?
Again, keep in mind, with all the injuries, he's had higher scoring games in recent days. But keep in mind that they've had a ton of guys out. So it's risky business with him is my point. So
what do you make? What would you make the halftime? I don't know what to do here. While we were away,
up?
I see one. Yeah, while we were away, Oregon scored before halftime. Went for 2. Got it. 34-8 Buckeyes halftime. What do you make?
Oregon 4.5.
Really? Okay. 3. I got a 3 and a 27.
Oregon 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now Ryan Day, in the past, he doesn't like against weaker opponents. He'll score 70 what he doesn't have to. He ran it up against Indiana. I would think with this big of a lead, foot comes off the gas, they run the ball a little bit more, but with this guy, maybe he scores 70? Maybe he wants to do that? What do you think he's going to do?
Yeah. This also helps your case. Because you're concerned about, oh my God, what's the point spread going to be now? Because Texas looked like the game is in Arlington, Cotton Bowl. So with the game being in the backyard of Texas, that helps out.
Yeah,
your case a little bit.
Then Book should do us a favor and make Ohio State 2.5 against Texas. That would be great. No reason to really bump up their power rating after this game today. I don't see one. So earlier today, Cam Skattebo, great running back, Arizona State. I bet under 104.5. I had my reasons. Texas rush defense, awesome. Without their best wide receiver, Dyson, again, thinking, okay, there's one way to beat us. It's with him. We're not going to allow him to do it. He went over. Guy's awesome. Lost that bet. Arizona State plus 13.5. That was a winner. Pending Knicks to win the Atlantic Division plus 350. All right, moving forward. With this game, I have the Ohio State-Oregon over 55, and I have Ohio State minus 135 on the money line. I also have Notre Dame, Georgia under 45.5 in that game. Took a little shot with pizza money. 80-1, no touchdown in that game.
Like it.
But
live, damn it.
Yeah, I can see that game being like 10-7. So, yesterday, had a loser with Tatum's rebounds and a winner with Illinois. So, Tatum's rebounds was even money, and so that was a push on the program yesterday.
I love no score first 5 minutes tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
I love that. Find $1.40 maybe. Let's come out, play conservative, we'll run the ball.
$1.40.
Probably with the juice, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. But you're not going to have Stockton throw it.
I like where your head's at.
I think that should be come out, and you might get is the first quarter 7.5? Something else to look at, too. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app. Never been easier to stay connected to the action, whether you're on your phone, tablet, or even your smart TV. Absolutely free for a limited time with the VSiN Watch app. 24/7 live access to the audio and video streams, replays of your favorite shows, never miss a beat, the ability to stream directly to your smart TV for the big screen experience, quick access to clips by sport tailored to your interest, and a search feature that lets you find exactly the insights you're looking for from the VSiN experts. Don't miss out. Get the VSiN Watch app. Stay in the game wherever you are. The VSiN Watch app. Go get it.
You know, this is a betting network. We talk about sports betting, exclusively here on the network. We need to point out, obviously, for people who might not know, that they might be new to the show, we're also sports fans. And, we've been fans of sports going back to, I can remember reading like box scores with my dad when I was like 4 years old. He taught me how to read box scores. That being said, this is disappointing. I just told you, I have Ohio State minus 135 money line, and I bet the over 55. It's 34-8 at halftime. This game sucks.
We're on a horrible run here.
Oh, this is awful.
It's unfortunate. I know.
I love the Rose Bowl.
But yeah, I know. But we couldn't get the close game last night, although it was, I guess, 17-14, 6 minutes left in the third quarter. We know what happened in the first 4 games to start with the first round. And thank God Arizona State came back, and they should have won the game. But that was looking bad and bleak, too, after Texas got the goal line stand. And what was it at that point? 15-3 or something, or 14-3? But 17-3, excuse me. But, I mean, but I guess this is a total fluke. This I can't believe, Ohio State, Oregon. But just going back, though, get used to it. Because everyone was complaining about the first 4 games, but yet Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports and Youmans had the numbers as well, that you went back the last 10 years out of the 20 semifinals, more than half were decided, 14 of them were decided by 2 touchdowns or more, and 8 of them were decided by 3 touchdowns or more.
Yeah.
So this is just, I don't know how it goes. It's a complete opposite of the NFL playoff.
You know, as you're saying that, here's where my brain's at. If you want to go back all the way to 2014 with the 14 playoff, my guess is Arizona State, Texas today is probably like one of the best 5 bowl playoff games we've ever had.
Mm-hmm. But then the sick run with favorites continues. NFL and college.
What did you have earlier? 6-point favorites or more in the NFL, 29-1 since week 12?
Yes.
Oh, my God. That's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Wow. For the record, this is what I bet, by the way, live on the air when they were getting absolutely destroyed early in this game. I bet Dylan Gabriel 250-plus passing yards at, they gave me even money on that, 275 plus at plus 172 and 300-plus at 280. So, plus 280.
Well.
So his updated passing yards prop in this game is 272 is what I'm looking at right now for the game. It's come down. It's 269.5. He has 126 yards after that final drive at halftime here.
I'm also stunned at the play calling. To be down 17-0, 24-0, 31-0, run on first down, run on second down. What? Come on, man. Again, he has 23 attempts. I cannot find an updated live passing attempts prop on him. If he has fewer than 50 attempts in this game, I'm already screaming holy hell because of the play calling here and how this is unfolded for Oregon. James got hurt, by the way, their best running back. Just throw it every down. Yes, I understand Ohio State knows it's coming, and you can drop 8 into coverage or you can just tee off on the quarterback, whatever. The run plays aren't working, pal. They're not going to. So it just looked like they were waving the white flag early on in this game. The number 1 team in the country, the only undefeated team, trailed 34-0 late second quarter. Yowzer. See if Georgia can come out with anything to start. It's been nuts.
Yeah, that might be it. That might be Notre Dame first half.
14-3 Texas, couple minutes into the game. 14-0 Penn State.
Penn State before you could blink.
What this abomination was today. Damn.
Definitely. I'm surprised also that books do not have up Ohio State versus Texas.
No, DK doesn't even have it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Hey, Mitch. Johnny's usually got that stuff.
Well,
up
they were
early.
Great. They had the other one up earlier today.
I'm surprised Will Hill doesn't have it too. They usually do that.
Let me check.
They got it.
Did they have it up now?
They got Georgia 1 against Penn State. They have Notre Dame 1 against Penn State. But that's like, okay. I think
like after this game, what are you going to make that number again? I was before the Rose Bowl started. My hope was that it would be the winner of this game would be like 2.5 against Texas, because I was going to absolutely pound either team against the Longhorns. After this, and what Ohio State did against Tennessee.
Here's the ticket that can cash. Howard's got 270 at halftime. Will a quarterback throw for 400 yards was 10-1.
10-1.
That can cash here too. Just need a little help from Oregon.
I hope it's Gabriel. But
sure. Yeah, you can do that too.
Sure, that'd be great.
Yeah, you might want to throw the ball. All right, Youmans coming in.
Man, does this happen often?
What?
Expectations this big of a game over with in the first quarter.
Well, growing up as kids, every Super Bowl.
Well, no, I know that. That's a long. We're also coming up on 50. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. All right.
But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
All right. Knock it off.
You're mad I yelled at you about Notre Dame.
You're out of your mind. I can't. I mean, if you're not going to give me.
Pauly,
Come on.
Happy New Year, pal.
All right.